The largest and biggest blessing of all, which really goes without saying, but I am compelled to remind us all, that we had this divine touchdown of a creation for a quarter of a century, and then a decade more than that. It has been in existence, more or less in its original form, for more than a generation. It has been part of us, influencing our culture, changing our lives, and keeping the theater alive and brightly burning single-handedly for more than most of the existing online fan base has even been alive. And it is all the more ravenous than opening day. What else can boast such an incredible legacy? I have been marveling at this mostly untouched gem of supernatural decadence from a bygone era as a living time capsule of the pinnacle of theater, that the ugly green teeth of the modern machine hadn't affixed its destructive gaze at the Phantom as its next victim sooner than it did. So many other beautiful things have been sacrificed by the disciples of the almighty dollar, things that will never be mourned the way this show will be. Phantom has sustained entire careers for countless people, almost a lifetime of livelihoods under its banner. The musicians, artists backstage, engineers, tailors, makeup artists, hairstylists, stagehands, understudies, and of course our incredible actors, tens of thousands of them for over 35 years, dedicating their livelihoods, personal lives, creative energies, youth, and pinnacle of their career to bringing this story to life night after night, for longer than many of us have even been alive. We should all remember them as this inevitable tragedy comes upon us, and as our star cast members say their final goodbye. The instruments that have rung out those perfectly composed notes finally fall silent, and darkness settles over the orchestra pit. There will hardly be a reverent pause before the next show is gleefully carted in. We're fortunate to have lived to see it at all. It's easy to feel sorry for ourselves, but remember the hands that maintained this show so faithfully for so many years. The memory of Hal Prince, Gillian Lynne, and Maria will burn brightly and longer than any other reposed contemporary artists in the theater world for what they left behind for us, and how long it was triumphantly enthroned in the world of the living, and we gratefully enjoyed this transcendent historic reign, leaving a mark on human history forever. The cryptic allusions to Phantom's return to Broadway, I will promise you here and now it will not be recognizable to us, and we should not hold out to see the original again. They likely attribute the fact that the money-saving restage tour tanked to the original still being on Broadway. So if they dethrone the king, the illegitimate heir can take his place. The brightest silver lining I can offer is that we should be supremely grateful that the Phantom can bow out of Broadway mostly intact and with plenty of dignity and grace. I'm glad that the show wasn't mangled beyond recognition, and we can mourn collectively instead of breathe a sigh of relief for it finally being put out of its misery. It was and is the dream role for so many aspiring artists, so many singers and actors reaching toward the legendary roles who will now not have that opportunity. That's the true loss here. I can't mourn for us, the lovers who have lost, but those exactly like us who could have carried on this torch far more faithfully than we who came before and never had a chance to fall in love.